Hey, what's up, everybody? Plus Parquet and Clever Pig, Sarcastic Bob, and you guys. I'm not going to talk about it too much. I might make a separate video, but you can check community posts if you want. Sorry, all my content got a little bit delayed and backed up. I'm in Pennsylvania, and I was one of the 250,000 to 500,000 people that went without power all last week, basically. Anyway, I'll talk about it in another video. Anyway, guys. But yeah, that's why everything's a little bit delayed right now. You're getting the third round of the Real Manufacturers Cup right now, whenever we're on like round 4, round 5 of the Nations Cup already, and I'm just backed up. It is what it is, man. Storms, no power for a week. There's really nothing I can do about any of that. And I run multiple channels. Anyway, guys, what do you do whenever your qualifying is so bad that you end up qualifying in last place? What do? And you got an hour, you got like a 45-minute race in front of you. You absolutely bin your only good qualifying lap halfway through and just absolutely chuck the car into a wall for no reason in the dry. And then, you find yourself, one person quit, and you find yourself P15 with 20 laps at Spa with dynamic weather on. What do you do? Do you try to rush your way through it? We got 20 laps here, guys. All right, we're round 3, the Real Manufacturers Cup. We're at Spa, dynamic weather, 20 laps. I qualified dead last. I believe it's racing mediums. Racing mediums and or intermediate or wet tires, I believe is what it was. I believe that's correct. But yeah, dude, last place, man. And I'm about to put in one of the best drives, one of the most poised drives that I've had. I mean, obviously I just won my first GT1 League race from the front pole position. So we went from could not be any more polar opposites. Round 2, pole position, and I actually deliver on the pole position and come home for my first GT1 League win. Then the very next race, I polar opposite P15 dead last is my qualifying. So there we go, guys. Let's get started. No intro or anything because I'm trying to get these races. I got like 4 or 5 more rounds left. I still have to edit for you guys that I did that week. Absolutely destroyed me of not having power, not being able to do anything on any of my other channels either that I take care of in the different genres. So yeah, this was rough, man. So we're gonna get straight to it. Hit me with the intro, hit me with that music. I gotta hear it. I'm happy to be back editing again. I'm back in the studio, aka my pajamas in the living room. But yeah, man, let's get it. You ready for a masterclass in the rain? You're about to see some shit. Let's go. 2 GT1 League wins in a row. One from pole, the next one from dead last. Huh? Nah.
Ryan, the things are something different. Keep from going lunatic. Moving up and down again. That's all the stars in the world. 7, 6, 11, 5, 4, 17, 13, day before.
I forgot that I skipped round 3. I lied earlier when I said which round it was, but Spa is not 3. I forgot that I skipped round 3. My 0 round will be round 3. We skipped that and went straight to round 4, so I can't make any mistakes and come in last place. It is what it is. I thought when they extended the rounds to a total of 6, I thought only 4 were going to count and not 5, so I'm an absolute idiot, and I got what I deserved.
Driving with a driving crooner, baby.
But in the end, guys, whenever you start dead last like this, on a rolling start at Spa, and that janky start they have, well, I crossed the finish line to start my first lap, and I'm already 10 seconds behind the leader of the race, which is absolutely not great. That's not optimal, I think one would say. That is suboptimal to be 9.5 seconds behind the leader at turn 1, lap 1.
But here's the thing,
anyway,
screw optimal.
Last to first in this race, I don't care. You got 2 choices. You can either smash and grab and be extremely aggressive and take every passing opportunity that you have, or you can remember that there's dynamic weather and there's a lot of different things that can happen in this race that can get you to the front. Wrong pit stops, correct pit stops, all these different things, wrecking, spins, all that stuff matters. If you're new to the channel, guys, I explode radars, inputs, I do in front cameras, all types of stuff to show you what's coming up around the corner. I try to do a linear edit for the race, and then we do a race review, and we got bloopers at the end, so stick around to the end and we'll review some of the closer moves and weird stuff that happens in the race if I catch it. Either way, speak of the devil, we got our first victim here, the Suzuki, man. He's braving that manufacturer, taking that Suzuki, but yeah, he found himself the wall right away. So I get my first position here. That's the first one, guys. The first one's over. It's all going to be downhill from here. Nothing to really worry about. Everything's going to be so perfect. Just wait and see. But I do actually struggle to get by here. I think his name is a Snake Bite. Snake Bite, he has a different name in the race. It was Axial something. I can't remember what it is. Whatever he is, man, it took me a little bit to get to this guy. You'll see, I struggled to pass him. He made a little mistake there. We're coming through the beginning to start lap 2, and I thought I was going to get him here, but I'm not even going to pretend that he didn't defend well. It is what it is, man. It just, unfortunately, this stuff is really holding me up. We're going to keep an eye on that space to the leader. We need to get that down as fast as possible. It's almost 12 seconds now trying to pass this guy. He defended well in turn 1. There's nothing really I could do about it. I'm just hoping he makes a mistake as fast as possible. I didn't want to take multiple laps to have to pass this guy. That's the last thing you want to do, is waste a bunch of time at the back of the field not being able to get past guys. That's probably one of the most frustrating parts of starting at the back, is whenever guys that just don't have the same pace as you are fighting you at every single turn. Again, you know, he's up the inside. I could have tried to throw it around the outside, but I'm trying not to be super aggressive. I'm trying to just take what's given to me. Out of the two options I gave you, I always choose less aggression and just try to be smart. Fast forward to the end of lap 2 here. I just had to follow him through. Once I can't get him at the Kemmel straight, I kind of have to just lock in. A little bit of some poor awareness from him. I was alongside him around the outside with just a pixel alongside him, but he tried to extend to the edge of the circuit, and I was there and bumped me. Luckily, PD did not give me a penalty as I went all 4 wheels off the circuit there, but it registered that I had contact right before that happened, so it did not give me a penalty. But here we are, reset again. Now I'm a second behind this guy again, and it's really slowing me down. There's no other way to really describe it. The Suzuki's even catching up to me because I'm struggling so badly to get past P13, and yeah, that's probably the biggest issue whenever you start like this, man. Some guys, I'm a pretty passive driver. I don't defend if someone shows a mighty pace, man. I really just don't. I won't even defend it. So he made a big mistake going up Eau Rouge. He got off the circuit. He was going to get a penalty no matter what. He even tried defending this, and I was like, no, don't defend. Just get behind me. What the hell? Everyone's allowed to race, man. It is what it is. But luckily, I had enough speed to get around him, around the outside here, and not take the track position. I'm not a fan of sliding over in front of someone right before a braking zone to cover them off and slam on my brakes on the inside defense line. It's just not something I do. You can do whatever you want, but I don't like to get punted off the circuit, so I'm going to not do that. I'll just make the move around the outside slightly and go from there. Just a quick update. After that, finally, 14.5 seconds now I'm behind the leader. So 15 seconds behind the leader. We get our first weather update here, and I was thinking this was going to be a full dry race. At this point, I said this is a full dry race. We're not even going to get any weather, I don't think. I believe my wife was watching and said, no, you're actually retarded. It's going to rain. These two guys made some mistakes going into the final turn. We're going to start fast forwarding here to get to some overtakes. So either way here, this guy was going to defend. Everyone defended, man. There wasn't anyone that just let me through. This is a full A-Lobby GT1 league. No one's letting me by. Everyone's going to fight. I'm going to hit him with a switchback here and get going and try to be a little bit more aggressive here. I got to get by these guys. I can't sit here. I did not want to take 2-3 laps to get past him, and I did not. That's the other McLaren that was in this race, and we're off, guys. P12. You know, it's a little bit slow going right now, but there's nothing I can do other than just take what's given to me. Don't be too aggressive, because it's just not my style. I just don't drive like that anymore. And luckily, the McLaren knew right away. You see that? He's telling me, get over, don't defend. We're good, let's go. He wants to work together. Either way, I left him behind. Second weather check here. Yeah, it's a lot clearer. At this point, I was like, oh shit, I have to admit my wife was right about something. That sucks. Oh well.
You're very
Looks
retarded.
like it's gonna rain, guys. We're gonna actually get some rain here. But yeah, pop the purple sector coming through here. Pace is starting to dial in. I'm starting to dial in this pace at this point. If I feel like I'm faster than you, I'm going to overtake you. But I won't. If you're faster than me, I let you through. Zoom in on your boy. All 4 wheels are off the circuit. I knew he was gonna get a penalty no matter what. Before it popped, though, I was sniffing around the inside here. I wanted to get him offline I'm being a little bit more aggressive. That's about as aggressive as I get. You see how aggressive that was? How I dummied him to the inside and he didn't bite. You see how that's as aggressive as I get, guys. So I'm waiting. At this point, once I didn't get by him right there, I just wanted to wait until the penalty line and just follow him through unless he made a mistake. And there we go. P11. So after that, we start to see some action in the pit lane. So this guy on lap 7 comes in on mediums, and I believe he goes on to another set of mediums. I don't know if he got the tires wrong or not. I didn't even pay attention, to be honest with you. We're just going to collect the position and keep it moving, and most likely here jump to the next section. But there he is right there in the box, K20. I think that was a little bit early. Unless he came back out on slicks, that was a mistake. If he came out on inters, that was a big mistake. To be honest with you, I really didn't check because it's inconsequential. So either way, he's in the pits. I don't care what tires he went on, it was a mistake. So the loosest unit comes into the pit at this phase. We're approaching the halfway mark. Take another look at the weather. I'm worried about that deeper blue section right there. But the way the tires feel right now, with the level of rain we have right now, the grip meter, the surface water meter is in great shape. Slicks are the way to go. Loosest unit boxed, and he went on another set of mediums. He did not take a set of inters. I believe K20 also took a set of slicks. I do not believe those guys went on to inters at all. So fast forward to the end of lap 10. Everyone is getting a little bunched up here. Got some more decisions for people to peel off into the pit lane. I think the surface water meter is finally starting to get some action. It's starting to get wet out there. The slicks, I felt like, were still safe enough, even on painted lines, even on the curbs. It still felt good enough. I wasn't really getting too much. At this point in the race, guys, typically when it's the surface water gets like that, and that meter does that, what I'll do is I will turn traction control on level 1 or level 2, because I don't want to have a huge moment and lose the whole race. So I do turn normally I'm a 0 traction control guy. I do turn it on slightly, either 1 or 2 if it's wet and I'm on slicks, because I just don't want to make a mistake and cause my whole 45+ minute race to get wasted because I'm an idiot and didn't hear that my tires were getting loose on a curb. This move right here, we'll take a look at the end of the race on this, man. I felt bad. I feel like I squeezed him a little bit right there, man. But a little move around the outside. It wasn't as clean as I wanted it to be. I think I still left him enough room on the inside, but it wasn't much. The little bit of space I left him on the inside, it was not much. I should have left him more room. I'll just be, before I even see the broken down angles and the different replays that I might have for us to look at, I should have left him more room, and that's pretty much it. Just a little race update there. 17.5 seconds, 18 seconds to the leader. We're gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. Surface water and grip meter. I don't know what you want to call it. Surface water. I call it the grip meter or whatever on the left-hand side there. I'm highlighting for you guys to see. I mean, it's getting a little greasy out there. Now I'm worried about that deep blue section. Not sure if it's gonna rain or not. Sometimes you just don't know exactly where it will hit. If it'll be the whole circuit, just certain corners. And I just wasn't sure. Either way, though, that's about time, man. Whenever that grip meter's starting to get to that first level, that first line, there's 2 lines in that grip, surface water meter, whatever you want to call it. Once it's that first line in between the first and second, you're ready for intermediate tires. And when it gets above that second line, it's normally full wets. And, it likes to play games at that second line. It likes to get close to that and play defense on whether you need inters or wets. But either way, man, it's time to jump into that pit lane. The mediums are starting to feel it. It's too wet outside. Almost the entire field jumps back into the pit lane at this point. So it's just a couple people stayed out. At this point, I believe a couple of the medium runners, a couple of the guys that stayed on slicks or made those early pit stops and stayed on the slicks, those guys wanted to stay out and try to see what they could accomplish, because the whole first stint of this race, we were in the water. So just highlight this guy coming through and having a shocker right in front of me. He was one of the guys that stayed out on the slicks. Was that K20? Yep. So here's another guy that's on slicks. Bye-bye. Bad decision. See? And then K20. Here, there's K20's right in front of me. We're going to find out whether he's on slicks or not. I believe he is not. I believe it is the other guy that is on. It is loose unit that is still on the slicks. So I believe K20. Yes, K20 took a set of inters on his early stop. The loosest unit took a set of medium tires and did not box with the rest of us on lap 11. He tried making it through. It did not work. K20, because he is on super worn out intermediate tires, I'm gonna come at him right away. I forgot that he was on inters. It was a oversight by me. I'm sorry. So he did go on inters, but they were probably maybe 2 or 3 laps in the dry, pretty much. There was not even, we didn't even have a wet line at all. There was barely any water coming. It was just a gamble by him. It was just a gamble, but I still have to work to get by him. It got really wet when we hit that curb. All 3 of us, myself, K20, and the car behind me, Sam, all 3 of us went off at Blanchiment. But either way, it's not going to be he's not going to make it easy on me, of course, or will he? He moves over to the left, but he still tries to make this around the outside. I do appreciate you moving over and giving me the inside line, whether you had a decision to or not. Either way, he did still try hanging it around the outside here. It was really close. He left me the room. I left him the room. There we go. We're golden. Sam's behind us. It's time to just keep it moving and not look behind us. Up to P4. We snagged all those positions. We're on the inters. I'm not sure if it's inters to the end or not. It is what it is. So coming up Eau Rouge, I almost immediately make a mistake. And then look at me lifting, thinking, oh, don't give me a penalty. I lifted. I'm absolutely retarded.
Hope nobody
I shouldn't even have lifted, because all it did was allow them to track me down. Because we all got penalties coming up Eau Rouge because it's wet and dangerous as hell. Except for Sam. Now he goes up the inside here, and I'm totally fine with that. I took middle of the road defense and made him make a choice. He went super narrow, and right here I thought, if you go qualifying line, I'm getting you. Don't you dare go qualifying. And he did, and I was going to keep it moving here and go up the inside. And then I consider this moving under the brakes. I consider this not a good move. He knew I was going up the inside. It's in slow motion right now, guys. And he tried to not take the corner normally and block me and then have to slam on the brakes halfway through the corner because he panicked and tried to block me. I think that was just a mistake. I think he realized he was hitting the qualifying line and not defending. And, I didn't want to have to go for it, but when you go on that crazy narrow line and you take a position from me on the super narrow line, I have a feeling you're going to make mistakes. So I'm going to pressure you no matter what. So with him going to that qualifying line and not taking it, we'll take a look at it maybe in the bloopers, but it wasn't that big of a deal, man. It's just, he realized, oh shit, he's going to try to go up the inside right there where people don't normally pass. I don't like that. I'm going to block you and then slam on the brakes halfway through the turn because I'm going too fast because I didn't take the turn correctly because I'm trying to block this guy from going up the inside of me. It just, dude, we all do it. Just don't do that. There's no reason to do that. It's okay. Either way, dude went off there. Guys, the guys were just sliding all over the place. That whenever the wet weather does that, man, it's wild. Now 19 seconds to the leader with 4 laps to go. We fast forward here. I'm gonna break the news. 16 seconds here, starting the final lap to the leader. Is he gonna make a huge mistake and let us come through and win this race? Are we gonna get these guys? What do you think? Put in your votes now.
Absolutely.
My dog shit or what? All right, final lap. But either way, a couple guys made some mistakes. We're up to P4. I probably harped on that one move a little too much that I really didn't care about, but I was whatever. Nothing, no big deal. Don't even worry about it. I tried to sync these up as best as I could so you could see exactly why I tracked him down as fast as I did going up Eau Rouge and onto the Kemmel Straight. But it was just he was lifting like crazy. I don't know if the dirty air was giving him a little bit of trouble. I don't know if he just didn't feel comfortable on it. If you notice though as well, he's not using any traction control at all. And I have it on traction control 3 right now because the weather, the surface water / grip meter was approaching the second line, which is to the wets. Whenever that happens, I turn the traction control up a little bit there when I'm on inters to make sure we don't have a crazy mistake. But with that, all that lifting he did going up that hill with that uneasy grip that he had going up Eau Rouge, I had the opposite, and I was able to just power through that and get by him on the Kemmel Straight and make it real simple for me going into the turn at the end there. But yeah, we're gonna get to the end here. Sam is gonna run me all the way to the end, guys. I'm sorry, Mr. Implausible. You're good for you, lucky for you. I started in dead last place, or I promise you, if maybe I didn't, maybe if I wasn't behind 10 seconds at the start of the race, maybe I would have got you. But either way, all the time I wasted was the problem. Mr. Implausible started up front, and he obviously didn't make a ton of mistakes. He got the strategy correct when everyone else was getting it correct, and it just was what it was, man. I wish I would have done a little bit more earlier to be a little bit more aggressive to get by those guys, but that's just not how I am. I'd like to give everyone a chance, figure out what people's paces are, and then drive accordingly. It's just smarter. You get better results that way. I've seen a lot of my rank has increased quite a bit since I started driving, much more reasonably. Either way, final lap, we got to come through here. I'm not going to get the leader, man. He's not going to wreck right at the end. I'm so sorry, but we got to get this P2. So it is what it is. We need him to make a mistake going into the final turn. Do you think it's going to happen? I don't know. Is that pressure? Would you be pressured right now? Would you be worried? Would you defend? Do you defend at all going in? He doesn't defend, and he goes in hot as hell. And he goes, dude, he went wide, and the ghosting system absolutely said, I had to just trust the ghost at that point. I was like, you know what, if you're going to re-enter the circuit sideways, perpendicular to the circuit that way on the final lap, on the final turn of the race, then I'm going to drive through your freaking ghost. Because that wasn't a safe rejoin. You rejoin him perpendicular to the circuit when you know two cars are coming through hot trying to get by to get to the checkered flag. That I'm gonna drive through the ghost. I don't like using the ghost system like that, bro. But like, come on, man. That rejoin would have wrecked all three of us. Come on. Thank you, ghost. So it was almost a last to first, guys. Almost.
Would you look at that?
That was quite a nice
Would
job.
you look at that?
Honestly, it was just a competent,
I said, would you
easy
look at
drive,
that?
nothing too aggressive, and it was
Everything.
just made the right
Say
choices.
that again.
That's it. Alright, so let's check out the race review. There's not so many bloopers in this one. Everyone drove really well. It was a confident drive by a lot of people here. But I got a lot of different angles I wanted to go over, guys. So, yeah, let's just check it out, man. Get that popcorn. Let's do it. So, coming through here, Woody Woodpecker was giving me trouble. This was about, I needed to make up about another 4 or 5 seconds fighting from the back if I was to consider myself a possibility of a win here without, the hypothetical wreck from P1. I basically just, I kind of look at it at the start of the race. From the rolling start, I have a 10-second deficit to the lead whenever the race starts. And he beat me by about 14 to 15 seconds. So with that said, this 4 or 5 seconds I wasted back here, I probably could have got the win here if things would have went differently, but we all know how it goes, guys. The things that happened really happened. There is no going back and changing it. It is what it is. I need to qualify better in GTWS. In the World Series, I have not been qualifying as competently as I should, even though last race was a pole position that I delivered a win on. We'll call that an outlier. Either way, Woody Woodpecker gave me some trouble, man. I lost many seconds back here with him. That was that little moment where he moved to the outside. His car was a little bit twitchy. I wasn't mad or anything. It was just he was towards the inside. I had a little bit of a run on him. I went towards the outside. He was narrow, then he went to the outside line to extend, and I was there. We had a little bit of awkward contact. That's why I did not receive a penalty, but it's all good, man. And your boy with that rejoin at the end that I was saying was not so great. We all would have done the same exact thing, by the way. I'll show you at the end. But either way, that was just a nice little move by Steve there. A little switchback. That was actually, he hit him with a switchback the previous turn, and then it carried that speed into the next turn to complete the switchback at turn 1. Almost like a double switchback on him here. But yeah, that little moment there, that mistake made by the McLaren hitting the rear end of that guy, put him right into my grasp here. And then I was going to move to the outside. I was going to go around the outside, but he pinched me to the outside really close to the grass line, and I was a little bit worried about that. So I just figured, I'll just turn late and try to hit him with a switchback. And he got a little bit towards the outside of the circuit. I bet he had to lift multiple times there out on that curve, most likely is why I was able to complete the switchback. Otherwise, we probably would have been side by side at Eau Rouge, with me backing out of it most likely, because that's how I am. But that couple laps later, we had to make the move on the NSX. He was a little bit slow up through Eau Rouge. I had to hit him with 3 bumps coming down the straight. That's why I showed you the whole thing. I did 3 bump drafts on this guy. It's a little bit wet, and then I finally pulled out to go for the move. And this is where I should have left him more room, guys. You see how I left him? I left him enough, but like to be sportsman, I should have left him a little bit more room so he didn't have to hit those ballers on the inside. But some people will say, guys, tell me in the comment, was that totally clean? The little bit of wetness on the ground, do I get a little leeway there? He just then he followed up with a mistake right after that. Unfortunately, I'm not highlighting. You guys know, man, I'm not picking on anyone. I make tons of mistakes. I just show what happened, man. It is what it is. But yeah, this is our first guy that decided to try to rough it on slicks. He made an early pit stop and went on slicks, and it was not optimal. This was suboptimal. There was a couple guys that made a couple early pit stops. So one in particular was K20, and he put on a set of inters very early in anticipation of the rain. There was at least 2 or 3 guys that either changed early and went on slicks, or decided to stay out on their existing slicks, whatever was left in the rain, and it just was not. It was suboptimal, guys. That's pretty much it. So he's dead to rights of the Porsche on the Kemmel straight because there's just nothing he can do coming up Eau Rouge. Everyone else is carrying normal speed, or fairly normal speed, not dry speed, but normal speed and I would call this maybe
Forever
class
impatient
1.5
for
rain, maybe
change.
class 2 rain, maybe at the most. I don't know, something like that. Whatever you want to call it, it is what it is. It's enough to have inters on, but not enough for wets. I can tell you that. This was I could tell that he was. I could feel that he was on some slicks there. He was going really slow through there. I had to tiptoe through him. This was the guy that just did. He did a whoop-de-doo right in front of me. I was like, what the hell? Just came right out the pits, and he just decided that he didn't want to play anymore, I guess. So that's all good. That was a wonderful position. I could tell this guy was tiptoeing. I was like, what's going on? What's the hell? So I knew he was going to shove out wide there, so I just lifted a little bit so I could stay up the right side of him, inside, outside, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this is the guy that had that spin right in front of me. I thought I edited those differently. Oh well, I'm a moron, clearly. So yeah, I don't know. It was brave to try to. You're trying to change the race. I totally get it. You're trying to change the race. You want to turn it on its head, and it could work out for you sometimes. These moves sometimes, these early pits. K20 he was an early pit stop. It went on the inters a little bit early. You know, if the rain came earlier, it would have been golden for him. It would have been absolutely perfect for him. But yeah, this was him trying to get around the guy on slicks. Chesnick, he got a 3-second penalty for that. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that penalty? That was pretty good, huh? He did hit him, but like he didn't even wreck him. He didn't even hit him off circuit, dude. I don't know. You tell me what that 3-second penalty was for. But yeah, so Sam had a good run on us here. He had a good run, but it wasn't enough. And a little bit too much sliding. And that was K20. That was his tires. His early pit stop, like I was saying, his tires were absolutely smoked, dude. I wasn't sure during the race if he was on inters or if he was on slicks, but I knew it wasn't going to be good either way because I knew he had an early pit stop. So I went for the move up the inside there, was able to make it happen. This was Steve here. I don't know. I never looked at his YouTube channel. I don't know if he posts stuff or not, but he got himself a little squirrely there. Let me catch up. There I am back there running. I finally get him eventually near the end. This was Sam's move on the Porsche before the Porsche bends it into the wall. I don't know. Either way, man, this was a solid race. There wasn't a whole bunch of bloopers per se. It wasn't a whole lot of people like, just getting crazy like this. Just getting loose. And I don't even know why he really spun, to be honest. He's on inters. Wheel was straight. I don't know. All right, final lap business, guys. This was the run up Eau Rouge and onto the Kemmel straight that I had, where I had the dual screen earlier during the live race to show the different ways that we took Eau Rouge on the final lap that allowed this overtake to happen. And it was just it was a drive-by, man. There was nothing too difficult about it. Little move around the outside. It's just a regular move, man. Just that the speed the Kemmel straight gives you is just phenomenal. But yeah, this was the final move, and like I was saying, man, I was joking, I was laughing about the rejoin killing all three of us. It would have, he almost went perpendicular to the circuit, to rejoin. But dude, it's last lap, man. We all know we would have frantically tried to rejoin the race if it was us. You tell me, man. If this was you on final lap, remember I started dead last in P15. Sam started P13. or P12. He started P12 or P13 right at the back with me. So Sam worked very hard as well to get to the end of this race, P2. And I'm coming right behind him. So I really don't blame him for this rejoin. He even tried to take, the angle to the left, the curve of the turn. But let's be honest, the speed difference between the two of us is very significant, and he would have probably killed all three of us. But we all would have done it, guys. Last lap, all that hard work, dude. He started P13 or P14, starting at the back right with me. He's P2 right at the end. The leader crossed the line 10 seconds ahead of us. And yeah, I would have rejoined just the same, frantically, absolutely. It wasn't the worst I've seen. I could have definitely done much worse. I think a lot of other people have done much worse than that. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't, harping on it too much. Everyone's sensitive, but I don't know what you guys think, man. I thought that was a phenomenal performance. A lot of mistakes have to happen for you to have, a last first like that. I couldn't quite get all of the dominoes to fall the way that I needed to get to P1, but I think a P15 to a P2 is phenomenal in the World Series, and that was a really good performance. I just got to keep improving my rank. I got to keep improving. My trail breaking in a couple of those scenes was actually, if you go back and look at it, I think it was only one spot that I highlighted with actual competent trail breaking the way that it's supposed to be done. And it was during an overtake. So it's the improvements are coming. That's what you have to focus on. I think I'm going to make a video about my journey of learning how to trail brake properly and the seesaw between braking and throttle that creates the fastest players in the world. Something that I can't duplicate yet, and I'm trying to practice it and get better at it. And maybe it'll help you get a little bit faster. But if there's anything else you'd like to see, if you like what I'm doing, I need you to hit buttons and do them things so you can see that stuff and people see it. All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Run! It's Godzilla!
It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not.
Still, we should run like it is Godzilla!